Well, of course, several African and global events to be discussed at that summit. For more on that, I'm now joined live from Kigali by CCTV's Jane Kyo. Jane, let's just start with the major news of today, those events of an attempted coup in Turkey. We know, of course, that Turkey is an ally to many African nations. What's been the response there at the African Union?
Well, Lindy, certainly, and one of those countries with close ties to Turkey is Somalia. Turkey has, of course, invested heavily in Somalia, putting up what is arguably one of its biggest embassies on the continent, plus investing in a number of sectors like health, education, and agriculture. Now, of course, President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud has reacted, condemning that attempted coup in Turkey. And in a statement, he says, Lindy, that, quote, it's unacceptable to reverse the democratic path that the people of Turkey have enjoyed in recent times. He also says that his government fully stands in solidarity and supports President Erdogan. Now, most of the delegates here are expressing similar sentiments. They are expressing their shock and disappointment in whatever has happened in Turkey. But we certainly expect more from the African Union once the summit officially kicks off on Sunday.
And of course, the other major international news story has been the attack in France. Any response on that from leaders there at the summit?
Well, Linda, the AU has indeed condemned the attack in Nice. The AU chair, Dlamini Zuma, says that the AU stands in solidarity with France and with the French government and the people of France. She has also said that the AU strongly rejects all acts of terrorism and extreme and violent extremism. Of course, France has strong connections on the continent, especially with its former colonies. And the AU chair and many of the delegates that we've spoken to here say that whatever is happening in Europe and in France in particular simply shows that there's a greater need for enhanced cooperation, especially in the fight against terrorism. We've had similar sentiments from Nigeria, which has also suffered greatly in the hands of Boko Haram. The vice president, who is representing the president, has told us that what is happening in Europe shows that insecurity is now a global challenge. And once there is insecurity, development is also at risk. Lindy?
Now, of course, Jane, apart from these major international events, the AU will have, well, AU leaders will have plenty of their own business to discuss. Just talk us through what's expected to take place at the summit today.
Well, two key major events today. For starters, we've got the ongoing NEPAD Heads of State Summit. 20 heads of state will be discussing setting policies and programs of actions on that development program. We understand the main focus this year is on industrialization. Later on, we're going to have that IGAD Extraordinary Summit on South Sudan. IGAD heads of states will be attending that meeting, plus the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, who's already in Kigali. He's, of course, called for an arms embargo against South Sudan, targeted sanctions, plus what he calls the reinforcement of UNMISS, that is the UN mission in South Sudan.
All right, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks very much, Jane, for that update live for us there in Kigali.